Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. My obeisances to each one of you. Thank you for your continued support and participation. So we finished discussing text 27 or 26 yesterday, right? 26. We will do 27 and 28 today, two small verses. And the context is the continued ecstasy of Krishna's walking pastimes. Text 27, chapter 8, canto 10. ततस्तु भगवान् कृष्णो वयस्यै व्रजबालकै सह रामो व्रजस्त्रीणां चिक्रीडे जनयन्मुदम्. So here we can find Tatastu Bhagavan Krishna. Krishna has been called Bhagavan here. Vayasyai Vrajabalakaihi, with his Vayasya. Vayasya means friends. Vrajabalakaihi, the boys in Vrindavan, along with them. So Tatastu means Tatascha, after this context of crawling Krishna. Kalena Alpena Rajarshe, same point. After that, Bhagavan Krishna, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Lord, Vrajabalakaihi, Vayasyehi Saha, along with his friends who were the boys in Vrindavan, and Saharama, and also with Balaram, Vrajastrinam Chikride Janayan Mudam. Chikride, Krishna started playing. He was on his feet, he was walking, jumping, and taking steps. So with Balaram, with his friends, the Supreme Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, Chikride, he started playing, and Vrajastrinam Janayan Mudam, he started giving joy to all the motherly gopis. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Thereafter Lord Krishna, along with Balaram, began to play with the other children of the cowherd men, thus awakening transcendental bliss of the cowherd women. Purport. The word Saharama, meaning along with Balaram, is significant in this verse. In such transcendental pastimes, Krishna is the chief hero and Balaram provides additional help. So the main topic is Krishna and Balaram is alongside Krishna. Text 28. Krishnasya gopyo ruchiram vikshya kaumara chapalam shrunvantya kila matur iti hochu samagata. Observing the very attractive childish restlessness of Krishna, all the gopis in the neighborhood, to hear about Krishna's activities again and again, would approach Mother Yashoda and speak to her as follows. So tomorrow we will see the different things that they are speaking. Text 29 onwards. Srila Prabhupada's purport to 28. Krishna's activities are always very attractive to devotees. Therefore, the neighbors who were friends of Mother Yashoda informed Mother Yashoda of whatever they saw Krishna doing in the neighborhood. Mother Yashoda, just to hear about the activities of her son, stopped her household duties and enjoyed the information given by the neighborhood friends. So wonderful. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we will see what the Acharyas have written in this section. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Chakravarti Pad writes that Saharamaha, the compound Saharamaha, is significant. So Srila Prabhupada's point in the purport is actually the point from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur who says that Krishna is the main stealer of hearts. Bhagavan Krishna, the Supreme Lord Sri Hari, in his all-attractive feature, he's the one Chikride, in text 27. He's the one playing mainly, and he's the one who brings the boys together, Vayasyehi Vrajabalakaihi. All the neighboring boys are got together as friends by Krishna. And Vrajastrinam Janayan Mudam. Joy is given to the heart of the neighboring motherly gopis, mainly by Krishna. He's the main hero. He's the uh, center figure of the whole discussion. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Krishna is predominant in this pastime of walking, talking, being naughty, being playful, and also plundering milk products very soon. Very, very soon, Krishna's Navanita Taskari or stealing butter pastimes are going to begin. So, Saha Ramaha, Chakravarti Pad writes that Krishna is predominant and Balaram is accompanying Krishna. Therefore, Saha Rama, with Rama, these pastimes are performed. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad has written a few wonderful things. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad writes, although the word Bhagavan has been used, the word Bhagavan means God, still the pastimes that are being discussed or are going to be discussed very soon are not that of godhood, are not that of creation, or are not that of being the super soul, are not that of destroying demons, are not that of being greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest, because that is Bhagavan. So why is this contrast given that Bhagavan Krishna in text 27, God Krishna, he is playing Chikride? Because generally you see God doesn't play, and those who are playful are not definitely not God. So why are these two contradictions made in the same verse? Bhagavan Krishna and Chikride, playing. God is playing. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad writes to mention the point that Madhurya Bhagavatasar, that the sweetness is the essence of Godhood. Sweetness is the essence of Godhood. Madhurya Bhagavata Sar. That the playful pastimes of Krishna are not to be taken cheaply. We shouldn't think that, oh, these are just pastimes. I am more interested in the tattva. I am more interested in the philosophy. Because the essence of all philosophy, the essence of all Godhood is his sweetness in interaction with his devotees in Vrindavan. Srila Sanatan Goswami. Wow. This is why Bhagavan Krishna, the Supreme Lord, playing. Also, Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad mentions that Vayasyehi, the friends that are described here, Vaya means age. So Vayasyehi refers to the Vrajabalakaihi, the boys of Vrindavan, are having a lot of similarity in the sense that they have similar age, they have similar caste, they have similar qualities and intentions, they have similar temperament or thought process and restlessness. They also have similar background as culture and also dressing and attire. What they eat and what they wear and what they think and what they speak and where they grow up, everything is similar. And this is why the word Vayasyaihi Vrajabalakaihi, Srila Sanatan Goswami, that these boys are friendly with Krishna and Krishna is friendly with them, not because of any ulterior agenda. It's not that like devotees in general, we worship God because He is God and God showers mercy because we have fallen. So here that consideration is not there. They are boys in Vrindavan and they are friendly to Krishna because of the following conditions: that they have similarity in age, similarity in their caste, their background, their culture, their dressing, their intentions, their thoughts, their likings, their qualities, their temperament, everything. So they're almost like multiple copies of the same person. They're all playing together. Vayasyehi Vrajabalakaihi. How wonderful. Srila Sanatan Goswami is squeezing out as much juice as possible from each word. This is why my Guru Maharaj, when once he was giving a class, he was starting a series of talks on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. My Guru Maharaj said on the start of the first day that I bow down to Srila Sanatan Goswami, whose body Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced and called as his own property. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad, he in his body had open wounds and sore and pus. And physically, as far as bodily condition is concerned, he was struggling and suffering to a point where he wanted to give up his body. He wanted to jump in front of the cartwheel, the rath of Jagannath in Jagannath Puri, and he wanted to give up his life and die because he felt that with this body, with so many infections on my skin, I'm not able to serve Krishna. And at the same time, if I go to serve Krishna, if I go to the temple, I may accidentally touch a pujari, I may accidentally touch a devotee who may become contaminated by my touch. If I hold a paraphernalia in my hand, like a coconut or let's say a leaf or some fruits to offer to Krishna, it may become contaminated because there's constant blood and pus and all of these things dripping from my body. Srila Sanatana Goswami, he got this infection in his journey through the forests, and he didn't have proper water, drinking water, and he was drinking water wherever possible, and that caused infection in his body. So because of this, Srila Sanatana Goswami wanted to give up his body. He didn't want to be alive. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jadyapi tumi hoy jagata pavan, tuma sparsha pavitra hoy deva munigan, tathapi bhaktera swabhav maryada rakshan, maryada palana hoy sadhura bhushan. This is the mission statement. This is the tagline for Vaishnav culture and Vaishnav etiquette. In fact, the very famous Vaishnav etiquette manual that was made has this couplet imprinted in the introduction. What does this mean? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatan Goswami, Sanatan, you are considering yourself to be unfit, you're considering yourself to be dirty, you're considering yourself to be contaminated. This is fine in its place, but I'll tell you the reality. You are so pure and you are so powerful that demigods, devatas, are coming in human forms in this world and walking through Jagannath Puri around the temple only so that they can accidentally get a chance to see you and even better, get a chance to touch you so that they can become purified. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. Jadyapi tumi hoy jagata pavan tuma sparsha pavitra hoy deva munigan. The sages, the devas, the demigods are wanting to get embraced by you so that they can become purified. But I understand Sanatan. Vaishnav culture and Vaishnav etiquette rules as the ornament in the life of a Vaishnav, that even when someone is so qualified as yourself, still you belittle and self-deprecate yourself out of extreme humility. And this is certainly the ornament of a Vaishnav. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wow. So my Guru Maharaj said that Srila Sanatana Goswami manifested such unparalleled commentaries to Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who empowered Sanatana Goswami to do this. Sanatana Goswami wanted to give up his life, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Sanatana to write this commentary to Srimad Bhagavatam. Sanatana Goswami is very, very exalted. He's the guru and the older brother of Rupa Goswami, who is the fountainhead of the six Goswamis, who are the fountainhead of our parampara. So Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, Vayasyehi Vrajabalakaihi. You see, there are two types of spiritual ecstatic interpretations. One is we read the whole verse, and then with the essence of that verse, we can seek instructions and lessons and parallels and contrasts. For example, if the verse says that Krishna started walking, so that's the essence of the verse. So now we mentally start thinking, where are the parallels? So with every step of Krishna's lotus feet, he is blessing Mother Earth. So Ramachandra was walking barefoot. Bali Maharaj got the foot dust of Vamandev. Ganga appeared in this world by the touch of the Lord's lotus feet. Similarly, Kaliya's hoods became blessed by the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. Govardhan is so wonderful that he gets touched by Krishna's lotus feet. You see? So you see the essence of a verse, and then we see parallels, and we can also see contrasts. Contrasts in the sense, okay, when Krishna steps out of Vrindavan, how he wears shoes and he doesn't let his lotus feet touch the ground. So that's a contrast. Or you can see even Mahavishnu, even when he's on the back of Garuda, he has an asan, he has footwear or slippers. So again, he doesn't touch Garuda by his feet out of respect. So many things can be said with parallels and contrasts. So if there's a verse, this is the essence of the verse. Now there are parallels, there are contrasts, there are lessons What does the dust of Krishna's lotus feet mean? What does it mean to us? How can we receive the dust of Krishna's lotus feet or the feet of the pure Vaishnavas? So that's taking the verse in totality and seeing lessons out of it. So this is wonderful. Another way is you take the verse and each word, and now each word is like a verse, and as much nectar and as much ecstatic bliss that each word has, each syllable has, now that is squeezed out. So our acharyas do both. If you see Srila Prabhupada in his writings, he does both. For example, he will say, in this verse, Saharama is significant. So he's taking one word out of that verse and squeezing the essence out. At the same time, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes you will see the verse will say something and he'll give a long commentary on the essence of the verse in totality. So both are wonderful ways to comment. So in this case, we see Vayastyaihi Vrajabalakaihi. Srila Sanatan Goswami is taking that phrase of those boys in Vrindavan who are friendly to Krishna and then giving different reasons, whether it's because of age or attire or caste or inclinations, thought process, habits, strength, playful desires, etc., etc. So this is wonderful. Then the word chikride, which means played, has been played upon by our acharyas in their commentary. Kridam chakre, that means they had fun playing games. What were the boys doing? Well, they were extremely naughty. They would release the calves before time, in the sense that the usual the usual time for releasing calves used to be after the mother cow has been milked. So after she's been milked for the village, for the family, for the use, then the calf is got in so that the calf has enough milk to drink. But what would Krishna do? Vatsan munchan kvachid asamaye. He would asamaye, prematurely, before the men would come to release the cows and start milking them, Krishna would release the calves. So all the calves would run to the udder of their mother and drink up all the milk. And now when the men are coming to milk the cows, there's no milk coming in. There's absolutely no milk in the cow at that time. At the same time, the cow is not giving milk because the person who is milking is not Krishna. So the men would say, Krishna, you're being very naughty. You and these boys, you are releasing calves prematurely. And Krishna knows that he would do this on purpose. He would see that the men would come out, let's say, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So 30 minutes before, as if an internal alarm clock, out of naughtiness, out of playfulness, all of that is chikride. He would do this on purpose. Kridam chakre. He would go and release the calves one after another. All the calves are running to their mother and drinking all the milk. And then the men would go with their buckets and there's no milk. And they would come and tell Krishna, Krishna, this is extremely naughty of you and playful of you. One day, 2 day, we understand. You're doing this every day. What about all the milk? How will we sustain? Krishna said, there's enough milk in the cow. You don't know how to milk the cow. This is why there's no milk coming out. And now Krishna would go close to the cow and pat the cow, take care of the cow. And as soon as the cow would get touched by Krishna, the cow would start pouring milk without being milked. Every cow had more love for Krishna than the love that she had for her newest born calf. The absolutely newborn calf. Born today, born yesterday, born this week. It's very dear to the mother, but Krishna was more dearer to the cow. Krishna was more dear to all the motherly gopis than their own children were dear to them. Krishna was more dear to all the cows, more than the newest born calf. So when Krishna would go and touch as a mother to the child, the cow would give as much milk as possible. And then when the milk is filling up the bucket, Krishna would say, see, without no reason, you're criticizing me and criticizing and blaming and complaining and framing all my friends. We are not doing anything. If the milk is not given to the calf, who should have the first authority? The calf has the first authority. So the men would say, yes, that is true, but they drink more than needed. Krishna would say, who's going to decide who needs how much? So in this way, he would pick up quarrels. So Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad has paraphrased that chikride in the commentary means kridam chakre. He played games and pastimes like releasing the calves prematurely. And of course, we'll talk more about this in a couple of verses. And Vrajastrinam here refers to um, women who had children and women who had grandchildren, both of them. Vrajastrinam here, Srila Sanatana Goswami. Then continuing, we find in text 28, Krishnasya gopyo ruchiram vikshe kaumara chapalam shrunvantya kila tanmatuhu iti hochu samagatah. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in his commentary. So first of all, we'll go through the words of text 28 and then we'll get to the commentary. So Krishnasya, again the word is Krishna. Before it was Bhagavan Krishna with his friends and Balaram. And then now the focus light. First the focus light was on everybody with little extra light on Krishna. And now the lights have been switched off on everyone else and the spotlight, the focus light is only on Krishna. So Krishnasya gopyo ruchira viksham kaumara chapalam. That Krishna, he would perform extremely ruchiram. Ruchiram means very beautiful. Kaumara chapalam. Kaumara chapalam is restless pastimes pertaining to childhood. Krishna was extremely naughty, extremely restless. So Kaumara means childhood and chapalam means restlessness. So Krishnasya ruchiram Kaumara chapalam. All of this gopya, the gopis would viksha, they would see, and on seeing these pastimes firsthand, Shrunvantya kilatan matu iti hochuhu samagata. Samagata, they would all come to Mother Yashoda from different homes. And ha uchuhu, they would start to speak to Mother Yashoda. Shrunvantya tanmatuhu. Mother Yashoda was busy listening to every gopi who would come. The gopi would come to tell about Krishna. So it's interesting. In Vrindavan, there was no congregational programs and there's no Bhakti Vriksha and all of that. So they need a reason to discuss about Krishna. You need Vaishnavas love to hear, read, speak, sing, serve Krishna. This is the nature of a Vaishnava. To the extent we are developing exclusive love in hearing and speaking and singing and worshipping Krishna, to that extent our Vaishnava culture and our devotional instincts are getting nourished. So in Vrindavan, all the motherly gopis would love to see Krishna Leela, hear Krishna Leela, speak Krishna Leela, sing to Krishna, sing about Krishna, and meditate on Krishna all day and night. Now, on the pretext of complaining, Mother Yashoda, do you know how naughty your child is turning out to be? So this is just the external makeup. It's the cosmetic on top of the actual beauty. The actual beauty is the gopis in the neighborhood want to come and they just need a reason. They just want an opportunity to come to Mother Yashoda and speak to her, flood her ears and flood their own tongues because their minds and hearts are overflooded with the sweetness of Krishna. So they're distributing the overflow. You pour a lot of water in a cup and it goes up to the brim, and then once you start pouring even more, the water starts spilling out. So the cup of their hearts are full with the nectar juice of Krishna Lila, and now it's coming out through their mouth on the pretext of complaint, but it's actually ecstasy. And Mother Yashoda is Shrunvantya. She is hearing. Who is hearing? Tanmatu, Mother Yashoda. She is hearing, and the gopis, on the pretext of complaining, are coming and speaking to Krishna, Ruchiram Kaumara Chapalam, these beautiful, restless childhood pastimes. So we'll first start with Srila Vallabhacharya ji. Sri Vallabhacharya ji says that the boys are not mentioned, Ram is not mentioned, exclusively Krishna is mentioned because he was the leader of the group. Although Balaram is older, Krishna was the naughty prankster. He was the trickster. He made all the plans. He said, okay, this is what we are going to do today. This is what we are going to execute. And he was the leader. And Sri Vallabhacharya ji writes that the gopis who are complaining, are they at fault because they are trying to pick on faults Just one verse before it said Bhagavan Krishna. And Shishupal also picked on faults pertaining to the character of Krishna. So Shishupal is complaining about Krishna, and gopis are complaining about Krishna. So Sri Vallabhachari Mahaprabhu is asking this question, are the gopis at fault? He answers by saying no, because the word is Ruchiram Kaumara Chapalam. The word Ruchiram means beautiful, attractive. So the intention behind their complaining was their hearts being attracted to these childhood pastimes. So wonderful. So Ruchiram is an adjective for Kaumara Chapalam. Kaumara is childlike, Chapalam is restlessness. So the naughty childlike pranks in childhood of Krishna were extremely attractive and beautiful to the hearts, to the ears, to the eyes of the gopis, and this is why they were speaking. So therefore there is no fault. Just like a mother, she may chastise her child. Does she get the sin of Yamadutas? Just like Yamadutas are chastising a person by taking the soul away from the body. So they're causing hurt. So if the mother sometimes, she in the childhood, she's reprimanding the child. She says, you should not touch this fire ever again. If you touch fire ever again, I'm going to punish you. No sweets for 1 week. So the child is crying. So could we give the mother the same fault as that of the Yamadutas? No. Because, well, the intention of the mother is so that the child becomes a better person. So the intention matters more than the action. Of course, now this is an interesting lesson. Between action and intention, when we act, we should make sure that our action aligns to our intention. Otherwise, if we say we act impiously and we say, well, my intention was something else, then it's very difficult to understand our intentions because only we know our intentions. So we should try as much as possible that our actions are in line with our intention. But for others, even if their actions are sometimes off, we should give them some benefit of doubt, understanding the intentions. But if the intentions are off, even if the actions are right, then we don't get any credit for it. If somebody is a sweet talker, but the intention is, I wish I can squeeze some money out of this person. I can cheat him in a business gamble. And for that, if I'm speaking very politely. So if the intention is bad, but the action is good, that's not counted saintly. Even if sometimes the action is bad, but the intention is good, for others, we should give them the benefit of doubt. And as far as we are concerned, we make sure that our action aligns with our intention. This is as far as some practical lesson is concerned. So here Sri Vallabhacharya says that the ladies are not at all at fault. The Vrajastrinam are not at fault, although externally their action may be that of criticism, but internally their intention is Ruchiram Kaumara Chapalam. If the heart is in the right place, then the sin is not there. Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan writes, just like Sri Sanatan Goswami Pad had commented, that the childhood pranks like releasing the calves prematurely, right? Now here Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, in his commentary, he writes that the neighborhood gopis or motherly matajis, they would be ecstatic, they would be delighted seeing Krishna's yogurt butter stealing pastimes. They would be in bliss seeing Krishna plundering homes, entering their home, hiding behind a pillar, sitting and eating from a pot of butter and restlessly looking around to see that there is nobody watching him, while the owner, the Mataji, is looking. She's just behind the pillar and Gopal is sitting and eating butter. They would find this to be so cute, so attractive, that Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan says, this is the Kaumara Chapalyam. The restlessness in the form of stealing yogurt and crawling away and speaking lies, giving excuses, making up stories, cooking up stories as to why he came into the home. So all of this on the pretext of complaint, on the pretext of a reproach, they are coming to flood Mother Yashoda's heart with the same bliss that their hearts are flooded with because of Krishna's pastimes. Do unto others that you want others to do unto you, right? As the saying goes, be the change in this world. So, as you sow, so shall you reap. So, the joy that they're receiving, they want to spread that joy. Charity begins at home. They want to give that joy to Mother Yashoda, who's busy in her own home churning yogurt. butter and making milk sweet. So their hearts, the motherly gopis in the neighborhood, their hearts are flooded with joy, and they want to fill Mother Yashoda's heart with joy through the ears on the pretext of a complaint. This is Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad, he writes, so why? So two things are mentioned. Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad starts off by saying Ruchiram, attractive pastimes. He's paraphrased the word Ruchiram as Atyanta Manoharam. That Krishna's pastimes were heart-stealing. They were heart-stealing. And he says Kaumara Chapalam. Why was Krishna behaving like this? Why was he being so restless? Is it that he was hungry for butter? Was he hungry on the stomach? Was the butter that tasty and the butter in Yashoda's home was distasteful? Is that the reason why he had to go? Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad says, no, it's only because of his extreme, special eagerness of the heart to taste love from his devotees. So this Kaumara Chapalam, this restlessness was because of not because of the hunger of the belly, but it was because of the hunger of his heart. He wanted to do things that would attract the hearts of his devotees and that would give them a chance to talk about him, and that would please him. So he was acting in a way to please them, and they were acting in a way to please him. So this was mutually going on the pretext of stealing and complaining. Both were actually pleasing each other. Srila Sanatan Goswami. So nice. Here he also mentions that why the word kila has been used. What is the purpose of the word kila? Well, it is described, kila sambhavya vartayo hetu ruchyor alikamcha. The word kila has many meanings in Sanskrit. One meaning of the word kila is sambhavya, possibility. Another meaning of the word kila is hetu, reason, cause. Third meaning of the word kila is ruchi, beauty or splendor, effulgence. Kila also means talks. Kila also means prasiddham, fame. So, just to recapitulate, the word kila has many meanings in Sanskrit. One is sambhavya, which means possibility. One is hetu, or cause or reasoning. One is ruchi, or splendor, beauty. Another meaning of the word kila, this is from the Hema Kosha, is varta, talks. And the word kila also means prasiddhi, well known. So out of all of these meanings, the contextual meaning here, Srila Sanatan Goswami says, kila means here prasiddhi, well known. So this means Mother Yashoda had also heard about these pastimes, never seen it firsthand. These pastimes were kila, they were certainly, indeed, very famous. Prasiddhi. They were very well known. Mother Yashoda had heard about them, but now she is hearing with details. Some here say, oh, I saw Krishna, I saw Yashoda Nandan in my home. Oh, he was eating butter. He was sitting with his friends. So some hearsay, some words had spread. But so the word kila here, Shrunvantya kila tanmatuhu. Krishna's own mother started hearing what was quite famous. That is Srila Sanatan Goswami's explanation. See how one word kila, Shrunvantya kila tanmatuhu, has been commented on. Very wonderful. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he he writes that the word Ruchiram, which previously Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad had paraphrased as Manoharam, Atyanta Manoharam, extremely attractive, that it steals hearts. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur paraphrases the word Ruchiram as Sukhadam. Sukhadam Kaumara Chapalam. Those wonderful, childlike, restless, naughty pranks, which were the ocean of joy. Which were the ocean of joy. Extreme bliss, Sukhadam. And the gopis were feeling, oh, Yashoda is busy in her household chore. So therefore, she has not been able to see what we have been able to see. Ruchiram Kaumara Chapalam or Sukhadam Kaumara Chapalam. These pastimes are extremely joy producing. So the joy that we have got through our eyes, let's give it to Yashoda through her ears. Vishwanath Chakravarti. What the joy that Krishna has given us through his pastimes, through our eyes, the delight that we have received through our eyes, let's flood Yashoda's ears with that same delight. And regarding Shrunvantyaha, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, Shrunvatyaha swaputra charitra shravanartham. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Mother Yashoda has so much love for Krishna that she would give up hundreds and hundreds of tasks at home. She would drop all of that just to sit and hear about her child. Teaching all of us, kotim tyaktva harim bhajet, that one should be able to give up even hundreds and hundreds of other things to do of this world only to hear and chant about Krishna. So regarding Shrunvantya kilatan matuhu iti vochu samagata, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Mother Yashoda would, on the pretext of, okay, let me know so that I can rebuke and chastise my child, on that pretext, she would give up hundreds and thousands of tasks at home only to sit and hear about her Gopal. So instead of browsing, we should hear Harikatha. Instead of gossiping, we should hear Harikatha. Instead of oversleeping, we should hear Harikatha. Instead of talking too much on the phone, okay, what else? What's up? Aur kya chal raha hai? Instead of talking on the phone and wasting time, or on social media just chatting, we should hear Harikatha, chant about Krishna. So, kotim tyaktva harim bhajet. Give up hundreds and hundreds of other distractions to hear continuously. One very great sadhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, once told me, when I asked him for some spiritual inspiration, he said, in my life, the sannyasi in ISKCON, he told me, in my life, the principle that has helped me the most is surrounding myself with transcendental sound vibration. This is what he told me, which means he said, wherever I go, wherever I am, whether it's day or night, whether I'm in my house, in my room, or I'm traveling, I make it a point, either I am chanting on my tongue or I'm hearing something. He said, the best advice I can give anybody is to surround ourselves in the bubble of transcendental sound vibration. In fact, he said, we'll all become like Parikshit Maharaj, who was protected by Krishna from the onslaught of Ashwathama. Maya Devi is like Ashwathama throwing in the Brahmastra to destroy the Parikshit of our devotional instinct. And if we can protect ourselves in the womb of transcendental sound vibration, just like Uttara called out to Krishna, and in her womb Parikshit was protected. This Maharaj told me, if we can surround ourselves by transcendental sound vibration, which becomes like the protected womb of Uttara, then the Parikshit in us will be protected from the Brahmastra onslaught of Ashwathama like Maya. Wow, so nice. Right? So this is Shrunvantya Kila Tanmatu Iti Hochu Samagata, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now, what the Gopis spoke, this Sri Surdas Ji has written very wonderfully. Sri Surdas Ji writes, Krishna is so beautiful as he is walking, as we described. Krishna is taking his steps. Mother Yashoda taught him how to walk. Sri Surdas Ji has written, the Gopis are coming to Mother Yashoda and speaking. They're speaking to one another, and they're also coming to Mother Yashoda and speaking. So they say, O Sakhi. Now this Sakhi could be a neighborhood Sakhi, a Gopi in the neighborhood, or it could be Mother Yashoda. The Gopis mention, O Sakhi, this place of Mother Yashoda's home, Nanda Baba's home, where Krishna is walking and imprinting his lotus feet everywhere, is blessed by Lakshmi in the four directions. Lakshmi has four features in the form of Pushti, Kirti, Shri and Aja, which means Pushti. Lakshmi, she nourishes her devotees. Shri, she gives wealth to her devotees. Aja, she gives liberation to her devotees. And Kirti, she makes her devotees famous. So here the gopis are saying, this house of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, where Krishna, who was in the cradle, started crawling and now has started to walk. He's walking continuously, going and running everywhere. Baby Gopal is running everywhere. This home is blessed by Lakshmi in the four directions, in the form of Pushti, Shri, Kirti, and Aja. There is nourishment in all directions, there's fame in all directions, there's opulence and wealth and beauty in all directions, and at the same time, liberation is standing with folded palms to be employed as a servant in that house, Mukti. So here the motherly gopis continue talking to one another. How wonderful is Yashoda's home! The churning sound here coming from all directions is so tasty to the ear. It's so wonderful to the ear. It seems to be eclipsing the sound of the rumbling of the rain clouds. That's how many pots of butter are being churned in this house. And what to speak of baby Gopal? The gopis are speaking. Gopal, when he's walking, his hair is bouncing on his forehead. And the gopis are saying, we have always heard of a lunar eclipse where the dark complexioned Rahu, he tries to eat up the fair complexioned moon. Oh Gopi, that may be a rare phenomenon in the sky. But in Yashoda's home, this is a daily phenomenon where the locks of soft black curly bouncy hair are dark, they are thick like Rahu, and they are trying to eat up the full moon of Krishna's face by bouncing on his face. Wow, so nice. Then the gopis are saying, did you see how Yashoda has tied a hair bun to Gopal? It is so wonderful. And every day, different jewels are there decorating Krishna. He looks like a little baby sage. Sometimes baby Gopal is baby Shiva. Sometimes baby Gopal is baby Sadhu. So many wonderful metaphors and so many wonderful comparisons. The gopis are saying, this Gopal, his hair bun sometimes has yellow sapphire. Now, according to gemstone, the science of gemstones using different stones, they are connected to different planets in astrology. So yellow sapphire is directly connected to Brihaspati or Jupiter. It's extremely wonderful for learning and things like that. But of course, depending on the positioning of Jupiter, if someone puts a yellow sapphire, it may become more than needed, or depending on the conjunct, depending on the aspect, depending on the nakshatra and which home, what star sign it's sitting in, so many considerations. But anyway, point to be noted is a yellow sapphire in gemstone signs is connected to Brihaspati or Jupiter. So Krishna sometimes has yellow sapphire. Mother Yashoda has decorated him with yellow sapphire. And sometimes he has blue sapphire touchstones. He has blue sapphire touchstone. Sometimes he has red corals, and sometimes he has white pearls. Now, this is very significant because just like yellow sapphire is directly connected to Brihaspati or Jupiter, you have blue sapphire, which is directly connected to Shani or Saturn. Similarly, you have red corals, which are directly connected to Mars. The red color represents Mars, which is called Mangal. And at the same time, the white pearls, they are directly connected to Venus or Shukracharya. So the gopis in the neighborhood are saying, certainly our Gopal, he is like Vishnu. He is dark in complexion. He is extremely wonderful and beautiful. Lakshmi has come from four directions to serve him, and he is being worshipped by the planets and the presiding deities. Jupiter, presided over by Brihaspati in the form of the yellow sapphire. Similarly, Shukracharya, who's presiding over Venus, has come in the form of the white pearl. Similarly, Mars in the form of the red coral. So in this way, white pearl, red corals, blue sapphire touchstone, yellow sapphire touchstone. They represent different planets and different lords, and they're all coming and offering obeisances to Vishnu, who is present playing here in the Vaikuntha of Vrindavan from the ocean of milk, Mother Yashoda's ecstatic motherly love. So nice. Then it is described. The gopis are speaking. Did you see Gopal today? He also has a wonderful black kajal dot here. So traditionally in Vedic culture, the mother, she puts mascara or she puts kajal and she takes a little dot from that and places it on her child, sometimes on the cheek and sometimes on the forehead, sometimes on the back of the ear. Why does she place? And sometimes on the feet, on the sole of the feet. Why does she place? Because why does she place a black dot? Because it's a popular belief that it wards off evil eye and any bad omen on the child. So the motherly gopis are saying, did you see that little black mark just above his eyebrow? The other gopi said, yes. And it looked as if Krishna's eyes are lotus flowers, Krishna's face is a lotus garland, and this little black dot is a baby bumblebee who is sleeping intoxicated by the beauty of their lotus. Shri Netrahin Surdas Ji ki jai. What amazing devotional perspective. This black dot is like a baby bumblebee sleeping, completely drunk by the sweetness of the beauty of the lotus of Krishna's eyes and the garden of Krishna's face. Then it is described, another gopi said, did you see the beautiful Gorochan tilak? Gorochan comes from the cow. It is a pigment made from it's a dhatu made from the cow. So, did you see the Gorochan tilak? Wonderful, Krishna looks so beautiful. Another gopi said, when Krishna is walking, my attention is on his nose. The other gopi said, what did you observe in the nose? So they're all like enamored, completely hypnotized by Gopal running around, and they're doing Krishna Katha. They're speaking to one another. So the gopi said, my heart and mind is completely attracted by Krishna's little baby nose. So the other gopi said, what is so attractive about this nose? So the motherly gopi said, actually Krishna's two eyes are like the two Kanjan Pakshis. Kanjan birds in Vrindavan are considered to be the most restless birds. So they're constantly moving. So Krishna's eyes are considered to be like the Kanjan birds. Kanjan Pakshi. Even Sri Rupa Goswami Pad has given this metaphor many times, that Krishna's eyes move restlessly like the Kanjan Pakshi. So this gopi is saying, just like if in the group of Kanjan Pakshi, if a parrot comes in, then it will stand out because the Kanjan Pakshi are little darker in complexion and the parrot is little different in complexion and in its appearance. So the motherly gopi says, the two eyes are like the Kanjan birds, very dark and beautiful. And Krishna's nose is shining and stands out like the beak of a parrot. So from side view, when you see Krishna's eyes are like the Kanjan Pakshi, the birds, the Kanjan restless birds, and his nose stands out like the wonderful sweet beak of a parrot. Therefore, it is like a parrot which is stuck between two Kanjan birds and it stands out, said the gopi. Another gopi said, talking about the nose, did you observe the pearl on the tip of Krishna's nose? Sunasika agramauktikam, the white pearl on the tip of Krishna's nose. Baby Krishna is only little, he's just started to learn to crawl. Sri Surdas Ji says he will crawl and then stand up and then start to walk. And when he starts to walk, there is a door sill. It's called dehri in Hindi or Brij Bhasha. A door sill means you have a door and you have a little plank of wood that stands out from the ground. It's not, we may have seen traditional Vedic Indian culture, you have the ground and then you have the door and then you have a door sill on the chaukat, on the courtyard. So it is described by Sri Surdas Ji that Krishna walks everywhere, but the dorsal is little high, and it's little higher than the ground. So Krishna looks at the dorsal and he doesn't know to lift his leg and cross it over to go outside. Initially, of course, he learnt it later. That's when he started going to the neighbor's house. But initially, when he was not knowing, he would go and he would try to lift his leg to cross, but he didn't know. So then he would place it back and run back to his mother. So at that time, it's described that the demigods, the devatas, would think, he who crosses over the cycle of birth and death for his devotees. He appears in this world, holds them by the hand, and takes them across the cycle of birth and death. He who crossed the whole ocean bridge as Sri Ramachandra now is not even able to cross over a doorsill at a door to go out. So Krishna, initially he was like that, but then Mother Yashoda held him by the hand and taught him, Krishna, you put one leg out this way, and then you put another leg out this way, and in this way you can cross. So she herself taught Krishna how to cross over his hurdles in life. So she is the Path Pradarshaka Guru. She is the Guru who's teaching Krishna how to cross over and how to overcome all his problems in life. So now, when Krishna is walking and going to the neighbor's house and in his courtyard and running around everywhere, the gopis saying, my attention is on the pearl, the white pearl on the tip of Krishna's nose. The other gopi said, what do you think about it? When you see that white pearl, wonderful pearl, moving as Krishna walks, what do you think about? So the gopi says, well, in my heart, it looks like this. Mother Yashoda, she's the ocean of love. Krishna, he is the full moon that has appeared from that ocean. He's the full moon who has appeared from that ocean. So the gopi again said, yes, Mother Yashoda is the ocean of love, and Krishna is the moon appearing, the full moon appearing from that ocean. Just like in the 8th canto we see, from the churning of the ocean came the milk. So Mother Yashoda is the milk ocean of love, and Krishna is the moon appearing from that. But in that same ocean, in the oyster, you find a pearl. In that same ocean, in the oyster, you find a pearl. So Mother Yashoda, she is the ocean who creates the moon called Krishna, and she also makes ornaments for Krishna. So she's also created that pearl. Just like the ocean is the mother for the moon and mother for the pearl, Yashoda as the ocean is the mother for the moon called Krishna and mother for the pearl in the form of the pearl ornament. So now if two children are born from the same mother, then they become brothers, they become siblings. Two boys born from the same mother are siblings. So the gopi is saying, Krishna as the moon and this pearl as the pearl, they're both children of the same ocean called Yashoda. And therefore, the moon of Krishna's face has accepted his younger brother in the form of the pearl and always walks hand in hand. So wherever Krishna moves, the pearl moves with it. So the face of Krishna is the moon as the older brother, and the pearl is the younger brother, and they're both siblings appearing from the same ocean of love called as Mother Yashoda. So the motherly gopis, so iti hochu samagata, when they come together, they are speaking. Then another gopi said, for me personally, I am completely attracted to the tiger claw necklace on Krishna's chest. The other gopi said, when you think of that tiger claw on Krishna's chest, what comes to your mind? So the gopi said, well, Krishna's chest is like the dark sky. Krishna's chest is like the dark sky. And at the same time, the pearl necklace that Krishna is wearing on his chest are like the 27 twinkling nakshatras. They are like the star constellations. And the tiger claw there looks like the moon while it's going from no moon to full moon on the second day of the waxing period. It becomes the Dvitiya Chand. From no moon, Amavasya, to full moon Purnima, the moon has started to evolve and becomes like a little crescent moon on the second day. So the tiger claw is like a crescent moon, a little one, with the pearl necklace, which are the 27 star constellations on the dark chest sky of Gopal. So many metaphors, so many poetry, so many embellishments, so many wonderful devotional alankars have been used to glorify Krishna. Then after that, another gopi comes in and she said, personally for me, she says, when I look at Krishna, I become like a river into the ocean. What does that mean? She says, I get so lost. Krishna is the ocean, and I come in running from my house as a river. Just like the ocean doesn't go to the river goes to the ocean. I am like a river flowing from my home to Yashoda's home. And Krishna in Yashoda's home is the river. And when the river meets the river becomes the ocean. It's difficult to separate the two. So the gopi is saying, when I come in flowing as a river from my home to Yashoda's home, and my eyes get locked to the ocean of beauty, Krishna, then I become one with him. Not in Advaitavad, not in the sense of oneness, in losing one's identity. I forget myself. The river forgets itself and always thinks of the ocean. So she says, I am stunned. I only keep seeing him. Even when I'm not in his home, I am in my home, I still keep seeing him. I only keep hearing his ankle bells. My mind is only thinking of him. So much so that, she says, my family have started complaining to Brahmanas and performing puja to ward off ghosts from my body. They are performing special pujas and mantras in the temple because they are saying, this lady in our home, she has gone crazy. She's talking about this child all day and night and she's not doing any household work. Oh Gopi, I hope you understand my life because you are another river. As I am a river, you're a river, and we're all rivers meeting the ocean, and we are only thinking of the ocean and we have forgotten our own identity. Another Gopi says, actually, just like Sri Surdas Ji is on, zooming in to the conversation of the gopis. Another gopi said, just like from a seed comes a whole tree, and from the tree come fruits, and from the fruits come seeds, and from the seed come tree, and from the tree come seeds, and from the seeds come tree. It's difficult to separate the two. If you ask the question, do the seeds give trees or do trees give seeds? Well, it's very difficult. Because if you say the seeds are giving trees, then where did the seed come from? It came from a tree. But where did that tree come from? It came from a seed. So the gopi is saying, my life and Krishna's life have become intertwined like the tree and the seed. I don't know whether he is lost in me or whether I am lost in him. I don't know whether it's the seed giving birth to the tree or whether it's the tree giving birth to seed. I don't know whether he is living in me or whether I am completely living in him. It's difficult to separate the two, O Sakhi, said another gopi. Another gopi came and she said, she said, Yashoda's home is the treasure house of nectar. Imagine a thief who gets entry into a palace and it's unlocked. What would the thief do? He would enter and he would start to plunder. The gopi is saying, I have become a thief. Yashoda's home is a plunder ground. Krishna's words, Krishna's walking, Krishna's actions, Krishna's looks, Krishna's laughter, his playing, they're all like jewels. Oh Gopi, I am a thief and I have come here to plunder. But my problem is, I don't know which jewel to steal and which jewel to leave behind. If I steal the jewel of Krishna's eyes, then I feel, what about the jewel of Krishna's fragrance? If I steal the jewel of Krishna's fragrance, then what to speak of Krishna's laughter? If I steal the jewel of Krishna's laughter, then what to speak of Krishna's playful pranks? Oh Sakhi, I have become a thief in the house of Krishna, where he is the greatest jewel, and I don't know which jewel to steal and which jewel to leave behind. And in this way, days are turning to nights and nights are turning to days, and I am still empty-handed, still standing as a thief. What do we feel about this? Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Then another Sakhi comes in And she says, "Oh dear Gopi, I got a chance once in Yashoda's home to sit and help Yashoda in churning. And at that time, Gopal came with his friends. He came into the house, and they were all little boys walking, holding hands, and talking, and playing, and laughing. And oh, Sakhi, they all look like baby swans swimming in the nectar mansarovar of Yashoda's courtyard, which is full of the waters of love. They all look like baby swans swimming in the Mansarovar of Yashoda's courtyard, which is full of water of ecstatic love. They look like baby swans. Can you imagine baby white swans all swimming together? Krishna and his friends were all walking and laughing and talking and holding hands. They've all learned to walk recently. So they're walking and running and giggling and playing. Another gopi said, "You know, I was in Yashoda's home and I got the fortune when Krishna came home, he was dirty with cow dung, cow urine, and dust. And I asked Yashoda, could I take a cloth and could I clean Gopal today? Can I have Gopal on my lap and can I clean him?" Yashoda says, "Yes, no problem." And this gopi is explaining, when Gopal sat on my lap and I was cleaning the dust of his body, I made a prayer to Brahma. I made a prayer to Brahma, just like I am freeing him of all the dust of his body. Dear Brahma, may all the bad karma, which is like dust, which is supposed to come to him, may I, with the cloth of my life, clean all of that karma. Because when you take a cloth and you clean something dirty, the thing that you're cleaning becomes clean, but the cloth becomes dirty. So this gopi says, I prayed to Brahma, with the cloth of my life, may I clean all the bad karma like dust in the life of Krishna. May all my joy go to him. May all his karma come to me. May the cloth of my life become dirty with his karma. And of course, Krishna doesn't have karma, but this is the motherly gopis, Naravat Leela, human like pastimes. So she's saying, just like I clean with the clean cloth, I'm cleaning Krishna's body, I am praying to Brahma. Just like the cloth is becoming dirty and the body is becoming clean, may Krishna be purified of all his bad dust like karma, and may the cloth of my life be filled with all that. May I take on all his bad karma and may he be embraced with all joy in my life. Finally, another gopi said, Dear Sakhi, since you are mentioning you made a prayer to Brahma, even I made a prayer to Brahma. I offered a prayer to Vidhata. And the prayer is, Vidhata, what kind of creation is this? What kind of creation is this? The eyes which see these pastimes don't have tongues to describe what they are seeing. And the tongues which are describing these pastimes don't have the eyes to see it. The eyes are seeing but are not able to describe. The tongues are describing but the tongue are not able to see. Oh Brahma, next time you make a creation, make it in a way that the sense which sees is the sense which speaks, so that whatever is seen can be spoken, and whatever is spoken is doing justice to whatever is being seen. So in this way, the gopis are speaking to one another. And tomorrow we will see they come to Yashoda Rani and start speaking more and more nectar pastimes of Krishna. Krishna's butter stealing pastimes are about to unfold. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय, अनंत कोटि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय जय श्री राधे श्याम, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय।